Okay. So on here, this is just the full version of what you're going to be doing. Do note that it does say show your work on the back or a separate piece of paper. So whenever there's not room to write all the work, you need to do it on a separate piece of paper. I have it if you don't have it. Okay. And let's just look at the first. Yeah. Look at some of the first part. Notice that this is 1/3 x on the assignment we just did. On the assignment we just did, it says x over 3. It's the same exact thing. So you might get used to what we just did, but it's going to be look slightly different. You notice down here it does say n over 5. So that's kind of like what we just did, x over 7. But just know that they're interchangeable. So let me just copy the first right here. Yeah. So check this out. On all of these, you want to do what we just practiced. Okay? So you want to look at this. By the way, this is what I was talking about. This is the same as x over 3. So if this is easy for you, like if you can think of it this way and that's easier, go ahead and think of it that way. Because sometimes when it's like this, you're like, oh, that's divided by 3, so I got to multiply by 3. It's a little clearer. Although the step is the same regardless of how you do it. But on all these, you want to do what we just did. You want to say, oh, that's a plus 5. First thing I got to do is minus 5. This is a minus 6. First thing I got to do is add 6. That's a plus 7, so I got to subtract 7. So you're doing the same thing that you just were. You may not necessarily write it down. This is a positive 9, right, on number 5, so you got to subtract 9. There's no sign there, it's going to be a positive. This is a negative 8. First thing you'll do is add 8 to both sides. This is a positive 1 again, so the first thing I'll do is subtract 1. And then you can go through and think of what the second step is, right? So this is a divided by 3, like x over 3, x divided by 3, or 1/3. You can say, okay, that's a multiplied by 3. Or 3 over 1, that's a reciprocal of 1 over 3. This is times, let's see, that's like a over 8, so I want to multiply by 8 over 1. This is over 4, multiplied by 4. This is times 5, I need to divide by 5. This is times negative 4, I need to divide by negative 4. This is divided by 7, you need to multiply by 7. This is, be careful on this one, it's a little tricky. This negative counts. So this is actually divided by negative 5, so I need to multiply by negative 5. Don't forget that negative. It's kind of like the last two that were on the last assignment. Okay? But this is what you can write this out, but eventually this is what you want to think. You don't want to actually write this out forever and ever. You want to be able to look at the problem and already know what are the steps I'm going to take to solve this. You don't want to figure it out as you go and just hopefully you don't get lost, because when you start problems and you don't know where you're going to end up, it can be an issue. Okay? And then on these ones, on the separate piece of paper or on the back, you can actually execute the plan that you actually set. So first we said we're going to subtract 5 on both sides right here. So let's subtract 5. What 1/3 times what, or 1 divided by 3, same thing, equals 4. You might know the answer, but it's more about proving the answer. So if you know what divided by 3 equals 4, you know that's 12, then you just have to prove it, and then at the end you should have an answer. And then I'm going to multiply by 3 over 1, or just 3. Right here. You do that to both sides, and then you can see 3's cancel out, and you get x equals 12. And just continue on. I want to do, oh, number 4. Let's look at number 4 because it comes out to a fraction. So number 4 right here. So number 4, we have a negative 4, got to add 4 to both sides. Keep in mind you'll never add numbers with variables, so you'll never have like a +4 underneath the variable to give away that there's something wrong. If numbers stick with numbers, variables stick with variables. So here we have 5y. 5 times what equals 11. Now you can see really fast, well 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. That means this is a fraction. Okay? So if we continue, yeah, y just equals 11 over 5. 11 over 5 does not reduce. And normally that would be a fine answer. But on this particular worksheet, if you look at the sides where the answers are, there are mixed numbers here. So you actually want to convert this to a mixed number. Now there's two ways of doing that. And you can actually just go to the calculator and type in 11 and then the ABC button, 11, the fraction button, and 5. And it will hit enter, and then it'll give you the mixed number. Okay, so if you want to try that right now, type in 11, fraction button, 5, and see what it says, so you know how to do it. Right. And what does it come out to? Yeah, 2 1/5. Okay. Or you can say, how many times does 5 go into 11? Oh, 5 goes into 11 2 times. What's the remainder? It's the remainder 1, and the denominator stays the same. Okay, so if you know how to get that without a calculator, you can do that. But if not, just double check, with a calculator. So normally we do not want mixed numbers, but this particular worksheet does have them. Normally you just keep your answer as 11 over 5. Don't make a decimal. The only time you make a decimal is if the question has decimals in it. So if it's like 2.54y equals 3.78, then your answer would be a decimal. But if it gives it to you in fractions, your answer should be in fractions. And other than that, any other problems here? I'm going to start up. Back to it. So, the key here is knowing the algebra. I mentioned that this negative right here actually will come in play. You can't just ignore that. Okay. So, first of all, this is a positive one, so subtract 1. Okay. So we have n, I'm going to put the negative on the bottom. Divided by negative 5 equals 11. And then multiply by negative 5. Very important to have that negative there. So negative 5 divided by negative 5 is 1. 1n equals 11 times negative 5. And of course, all these you can do a check on. You can plug in your answer, like number 12. You can plug it back in. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. Everything will check out. You don't necessarily have to write it out because the answer is already there. The check for these is the fact that you're given the answers on those columns on the side. But if you don't have the given like an answer bank on the side, like tomorrow, then yes, you should probably do a check to verify it's the right answer. Otherwise, you won't know for sure. Okay? Okay. You have the rest of the period, which is about a half hour. You got lots of time to finish this up. So go to it. Don't waste anything, and you won't